Or when we're not?
When you're not playing music.
Oh, you like to cycle.
Yeah, well, we both have teenage kids. We've got, between us, we have 5 boys. So,
nice.
yeah, they keep us busy.
Good.
Yeah,
Teenagers, so there's issues, there's homework, there's...
Good.
Always drama.
We all got kids. Two
I love
girls.
teenagers. They're like walking cliches.
Yes.
Teenagers, aren't they? The stuff that comes out of their mouth.
Oh, I know.
They keep you grounded and balanced.
They do. But then our normal 9 to 5, we have a recording studio not far from here actually, and that's kind of our day job. When we're not working on our own records, we're producing records for other people, or we're writing music for film and TV shows. We're doing commercials, anything we can bring through the studio to keep things going.
And we also tour. I mean, we tour the 40 stuff from like spring to fall, pretty much every year.
Mostly in the States, a little bit overseas.
Sort of weekend warriors, right? We don't do like full proper tours. We go out on a weekend, maybe 4 or 5 days max, and come back to Toronto, get back to our studio and do the work that we do.
What's the name of your recording studio?
The Speed of Sound.
The Speed of Sound.
I guess technically it is the Speed of Sound.
I like that.
But Boomtang is our production company. Boomtang Records has been around since 1991, producing music.
And maybe that's the British angle you're talking about, because we started off putting our records out in England first. And I think my ears and Rob's ears, to a certain extent, were sort of leaning that way. We're listening to a lot of the scene that was happening, the sort of re-emergence sort of scene.
Rebirth of Cool, Talking Loud, that kind of British stuff.
Right? A lot of Jordan, the Sade, all that stuff was coming out.
Absolutely. So when we started the 480 East, I want to say project, but it really wasn't a project. We were just making tracks and thought, well, we have all these tracks, why don't we put them on an album? And we were really gearing it to the UK market at that point.
Right.
So yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that.
Right. So where your love and passion for music come from, and what style influenced you as a musician?
I don't know what drives me or people particularly to move in that direction. But once you find out, I mean, I think it's exploring. And then it's not that my family was particularly musical, but I don't know. I think I had a lot of energy, and drums were my thing. So I must thank the schools because they have the music program.
Right.
That's essential.
Yeah.
We were talking about our esteemed sax player,
John.
You were talking.
Phil Dwyer.
Phil Dwyer.
And I was at an interview once with Phil, and he was talking about it, and he is such a monster musician.
Right.
And he was saying, again, it was the school, high school. I didn't realize he didn't start playing until high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's amazing what can be done in 5 or 4 years.
You guys use him on your works?
We have in other projects.
He hasn't actually played on a 480 East record, but we've recorded him on other stuff.
Sure.
We've worked with Phil. Yeah, he's amazing.
All right. Who was instrumental in shaping your careers musically?
I mean, as far as influences go, there's just so many. Like, we're influenced by everything. I mean, obviously, 480s kind of has its niche where it sits, but we continue to produce music in all different styles. We've done country records and heavy metal records, and a lot of pop stuff, R&B, everything. And we listen to everything. You know, even right now, we're working on some sort of young up and coming singers in totally pop. So we're listening to pop radio again, seeing what's going on.
Good.
Doing that stuff.
Is there a particular artist you were in awe with, who love to work with, this person or genre?
I don't know.
I'd love to work with Sade. Yeah, I'd love to work with Peter Gabriel. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking pipe dreams here,
Brian Eno.
This is what we're talking about.
Brian Eno. Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now, the music business being the way it is.
Well,
sorry.
I wanted to. I was going to mention. You know, you're talking about influences while Rob was talking.
Let's throw it in there.
And I think Rob got into it early. I don't know if you sort of had a choice because he started so young.
Okay.
Was there a choice?
Oh, about getting in? Yeah, no, my parents put me in piano lessons when I was 4, but I loved it right out of the gate.
So for me, I'm thinking like, it's all about possibilities, right? If you see something, it's like mentorship. If you see somebody who's making a living being a guitar player or a drummer or whatever, then that makes it a possibility.
Right.
If you're just listening to records and you're looking at people who are A-listers and, you know, driving around in big cars and stuff, there's a disconnect. So, you know what I mean?
Right.
So for me, I had people who maybe I didn't realize it, but were making a living in the business. So that
as role models.
Yeah, that might have helped. I remember a neighbor was a drummer. I had no idea that he was a drummer, and I remember he'd forget his keys every once in a while, and then back in the days when they actually had milk box chutes, on the side of the house.
Yeah, yeah.
That was small enough. He used to get
crawl through the milk
crawl through and open his front door, right?
Yeah.
Now a musician years on, I realize why he forgot his key all the time.
Right.
Anyway, but he was a drummer, so I saw these drums as a kid, literally 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, seeing this shiny thing. What is this thing? And that's what sort of got me interested in it. Then to see people actually get out there and make a living at it,
Right.
people who were in my immediate sphere, then that made it a possibility, is what I'm saying. That influences you,
Good. You've got a ton of albums out there. You've been around. You've got a lot of great music. What is your definition of musical success?
I don't know. I think if and people I respect like it, that's huge. That's massively huge. I guess you're doing it for yourself to a certain degree. I don't know, Rob, speak for yourself, but you want to be proud of what you do. So
Families on it. I mean, that's amazing. If we weren't being able to support ourselves with it and had to get day jobs, but we're still doing it on the side, I would still consider that successful. If we're making music that resonates with people, and we've just been lucky enough that we're actually making a living at it too.
Good. Wonderful. Now, where can fans purchase your music?
a few places.
Digitally, you can get it anywhere. We're on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, all the streaming services, although don't get me started on streaming. Wherever you want it, you can find it. CDs, we have a great distributor now out of Ohio. So physical copies you can get pretty much anywhere, Amazon. Any record store can order our CDs now.
Okay. Yeah. Internationally, MVD, and
you can download all our stuff directly from our website at 480east.com. We've got a music store on there where you can get it directly from us.
Now, I know the summer is busy, hectic with music in Toronto. Any place you'll be playing in the near future that the fans would like to know? No, I'd love to come and check out your concert.
There's not. We're not doing anything locally. We're playing near Syracuse in August.
August 21st, it's Glenora.
And the night before, we're playing in Detroit.
Okay.
So if anyone feels like a small road trip, you can catch us. All our tour dates are posted on our site at 480east.com as well. And also on our Facebook page. You can find us there.
All right. Now, the matrix and paradigm shifts in the musical industry today.
Yeah. I
know it's a different place. Are you happy with it?
Well, I mean, Rob touched on streaming there. I didn't get into it, but I mean, it's just, an equitable, what is it, 1/17 of a cent for every stream, which is, coming from companies like Google, Alphabet, or whatever. It's like, an Apple.
Right.
It's not looking that shiny. I mean, thank goodness the iTunes model is still going, and people are still buying singles and albums digitally.
Right.
But that's going to be gone. Before too long.
You have to tour. I mean, that's still where you can't download a live show, and you have to go and pay the money to get it. Right. And that's the reality today is you have to be on the road, and you take a little bit of time off to do the record, and then get back out there and do it. I mean, that's the
nature of the beast.
That's the nature of it. Yeah.
So are we happy? I mean, we're happy that we're still able to do it.
Right.
Do we wish things were the way they were in the 90s? Sure, hell no. Like, why not? But, I mean, it's a pendulum swing, right? I mean, looking back, even at that time we knew, but looking back especially, it was so overinflated then. Selling CDs for $25 when they cost $1. Like, it was kind of ridiculous. The record labels making so much money, reissuing stuff on CD and making all that money over again, and everyone got really cocky. And, when things took a turn around the turn of the century, it was a really frustrating time for us because at the time we were signed to a major label as doing pop dance stuff as recording artists, and we were working on our second album for them, and all the major labels were freaking out about Napster. They were losing it. They were saying, "Do we have time for this story?" Okay. They were saying we would have expense account dinners with the majors, and they'd be freaking out about how do we stop the downloading, how do we shut them down, and we would just look at each other and say, why do you want, you should be working with them, this is the future, and they just couldn't see it. They wanted their Lexus, expense accounts and keep the machine running the way it was running. And they
corporate stuff.
I mean, I don't want to oversimplify it because it was a complicated time and a complicated issue, but a lot of people really missed the boat.
Yeah.
and we've been suffering for it ever since.
Right.
I mean, I think it's really neat where we are now. I think, in a lot of respects, it's opened up a lot of new things. But it's not like a lot of people want to make it seem like it's the new land of opportunity and anyone can make it, and with YouTube and anyone. Well, it's still the gatekeepers that are holding the keys that you got to deal with.
And it's still 1% of the artists are making 80% of the money.
Boss.
It's still as it was. It's funny. Just the same. A lot of things still apply. You know, the hit mentality and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The idea of a long tail artist is kind of not really a thing. So, but at the same time, you know, when I think we started, we had no money and stuff, and with our restrictions financially, it was a lot tougher doing it 25 years ago than today.
To get stuff out.
You know, a microphone with a USB right into your computer, and so.
Because it always boggles my imagination. How does a musician monetize the digital beast, whereas in a manner when artists gets paid fairly? Yeah,
and well, that's the thing. The individual artists really have no clout. So we were lucky in a lot of respects that we have a direct deal with iTunes. We got in when an independent label or artist could sign directly with iTunes. Shortly after we got that agreement, they said, okay, there's too many people, we can't do it anymore, you have to go through an aggregator.
Wow.
So we got in early with iTunes, which has been good for us, but everything else, like, there's no way we could do it all ourselves. We can't collect from all the different streaming services. So you have to go through TuneCore, you have to go through CD Baby, or you know, Indie Pool does. I mean, there's a ton of aggregators that do this.
There's not, the barrier isn't there. Anybody can put music out, right? Unfortunately, there isn't really as much as there was perhaps 25 years ago, maybe like radio and stuff that help filter out the not so good stuff from the good stuff. Right now, anybody can do it, so there's so much clutter.
Well, and that's a lot of what people are talking about now is curating stuff, and tastemakers are more important, and that's what radio kind of still is, but used to be much more. Terrestrial radio is another interesting thing. Like, how long is that going to be kicking around? It's still big, but it's especially in the genre that our stuff gets played in. All those states, the smooth jazz stations in the States, they've just been dropping like flies in the West.
Wow.
But okay, as far as advice to musicians, I think just be realistic about what your expectations are. I mean, and really think it, like, if you're really passionate about doing it and you can't really see yourself doing anything else, and that's what you want to do, then do it. Absolutely.
But just remember that, you know, to make it happen today, you have to have so many of the revenue streams all in line.
Okay.
So definitely you're on the road.
You have to educate yourself, and you really have to get on top of everything.
Yeah,
you can do
social
a lot
media,
of stuff.
your connection with your fans is all really
practice.
Yeah,
and keeping control of all your stuff. You know, I think we've pretty much divested ourselves of any affiliations with other labels. We're completely independent now.
Okay.
Boomtang Records, you know, we own all our masters, everything we've done. We've got a big back catalog, both 480 East and other stuff too. So, I mean, we're doing okay, and we were lucky that we got into it in the 90s.
Guys, today,
and
you know, I had an education on 480 East thanks to Koolbreeze.
Thanks to Curtis.
Yes.
And I'm loving it. And I like the, it's like a natural syncopation that you guys put together with the bass, the sax, the whisper of the drum, and just make this fun, funky music. And
well, it is really like, I mean, we didn't start playing live as 480 East until I think our third album, because it started out as a studio project, and that's really what it was. It's like, because we're studio guys. We love getting in there and grabbing some samples and playing some stuff and just tinkering and layering elements, and that comes from our dance music background. Like we were talking about earlier, we started out in the early 90s making house 12 inches for the UK market, and I, as a kid who came up in the classical kind of milieu with that sort of, and so switching to dance music was a whole education for me.
Learn a new word.
Learning that sort of composition, and you know, it's like additive and subtractive arrangement where you lift the bass and then you drop it back in, and then you break it down to the low end, and that, as opposed to chord progressions and that sort of thing. It's another way of looking at music, and I found a real appreciation for that for that style of making music and connecting with people, seeing how that stuff works on the dance floor, and how, you know, people slag off DJs. Musicians love to slag DJs, but, you know, they're not. Well, sure, a lot of DJs are shit. Let's be honest. Can I say the F?
You can.
But guys that really know what they're doing and can work the energy and lift and drop and do, and that's. And so taking that aesthetic and merging it with sort of the more music theory background that I brought to the table, and Tony's sort of, you know, sensibilities, that all that stuff goes into 480s, and it really is, like you say, it's taking the elements, putting them together, and
Like
taking
Earth,
you on a
Wind,
journey.
and Fire.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I love it, and I like the fact that you from Toronto, like, you know, it's huge.
But that's kind of a part of it too, I think, maybe, because Toronto's got a lot of musical influence from a lot great musicians live here in Toronto,
Tons.
like world class,
Tons.
like
World
the
class.
heaviest. So it's, you know, maybe that's part of it. There's a bit of that Canadian, you know, we eat our own young sort of thing, where we don't support ourselves as much as we should. I think that's changed a lot, actually, but that used to be sort of the case, you know, 5-10 years ago. But I think we're coming of age, you know, we appreciate that that there are people in the city and musicians in the entertainment business across the board, actors, filmmakers, that are all, you know, that are capable of performing on the world stage. So I think that's a good thing, you know, and I think maybe the governments are understanding that too. A lot more money goes in to support the arts now because it's a moneymaker.
It is a moneymaker.
You know?
Yeah,
I was just down, Rob and I just did a show last on New Year's in Vegas, first time for me. And I'm looking up there and there's Celine Dion, Canadian, Weekend, another Canadian. It's like, you know, right beside Sir Elton John, and you know, these residents. It's like Canada has a huge influence on the United States. We kind of under.
But it's, and my thing is, why not here? Because I grew up here in Toronto and grew up in the music scene. I'm not a musician. I just have an ear and love for music, and I've seen artists that just kind of like Rush. You know, Dominic Troiano.
Yeah.
His wife, Sean Jackson, was an awesome singer. And J.W. McGee, and there was like a whole, like growing up, and but the thing where there were venues.
There were venues and there was a scene.
And there were
multiple scenes.
Multiple scenes. And like you can go to and Gasworks and just different places you could go and just kind of hang out and get your music fixed. Down on Queen Street was like another music strip, and Yonge Street, when they used to have the Yonge Street Mall, and just
and a lot more jazz venues, right?
Yeah, Montreal Bistro, New Orleans, and all those places I used to hang out.
Senator,
and
yeah, it's very different now.
It's very different, but I just like that you guys bring it home. You know what I mean? Like,
I wish we had the opportunity to play here more. It's just it's so
home
hard
cooking,
to get stuff
you know,
going.
just like stirring up the pot. And that taste of the bass, Lord, I was just like ding, 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 ding. And then the sax comes in, and Tony comes in with this.
Mix it up.
And what I like to do identify in the titles of your songs with Canada, like Viaduct, K-Town,
Cookie Strut.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and the name of the band, a lot of people think it's an interstate. There actually is an I-480 East in Ohio. It's not interstate. It's based on the street address of our studio on Richmond Street, where we were for many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you for coming by today. I know it's
this
Saturday and it's warm, but
It's cool down here, though.
it's nice and cool down here. And we'll play some good music.
I'm sure the listeners can hear the fan.
Yeah, that's Tony's
Koolbreeze.
whisper. He's you know that. Well, you know, it ties in with Koolbreeze and Tony here, who he's got this lick in the drum. It's kind of cool. I noticed it in a couple.